Suspended for wanting to show her underwear in English class. A teenager in Ontario thinks her school's dress code is rape culture. A grade 10 student attending Essex District High School in Ontario has been suspended for protesting the school's dress code. The young lady told the CBC that she and several of her friends have been punished, and she was sent home after refusing to change her shirt because her bra straps were showing. So then, to protest what the young lady felt was an unfair rule, she and her friends made posters that they put up without permission all around her high school. Some of them said, "Stop objectifying women," "I go to school where the length of my shorts are more important than my education," and my favorite, "Dress code perpetuates rape culture." The young woman was suspended for this action. I'm pretty sure if you're willing to get suspended because the length of your shorts are a big deal to you, then yeah, the length of your shorts are more important to you than your education, which seems like a strange priority for a young person to have. Anyway, the young lady said it's degrading, this rule, because administration doesn't point out the boys. It's always about the girls. That just tells me there aren't a lot of boys wearing bras at her high school, which also seems pretty reasonable to me. But let's just read the dress code together, and then you can decide for yourself if it is reasonable or specifically targeting young ladies. It reads, "Students are expected to take pride in their appearance by dressing cleanly, neatly, and appropriately. In general, all clothing worn to school must be conducive to an academic environment. Clothing or accessories containing inappropriate or objectionable pictures and/or words, such as references to alcohol, drugs, profanity, obscene language, statements promoting violence, racism, or illegal behavior, sex, including words or phrases with double meaning, or gender-offensive language are not acceptable. In all cases, the administration will decide whether or not students are adhering to the dress code standards. For example, no spaghetti straps or halter tops for girls and no tank tops for boys, no revealing backs or midriffs, and no short shorts." You just read the dress code with me. What do you think? I think it doesn't have a gendered focus at all. I think it's a pretty fair dress code. It's about being in a respectful yet learning-focused place. But for some reason, the CBC is avoiding reporting on the full and even-handed actual dress code as opposed to a minor child's interpretation of it as unfair. And if you've ever met a 15 or 16-year-old person, they think everything is unfair. That's not a news story. Actually, this isn't a news story at all. It's a child's tantrum unchecked by their parents, as reported in the state broadcaster, because feminism and rape culture or something or other. My 11-year-old doesn't want to load the dishwasher, claims patriarchal oppression through gendered norms. Story at 11. I think any normal interpretation of that school's dress code is that it's pretty reasonable, and while kids will try to get away with whatever they can because they're kids, it's certainly up to the grown-ups around the kids to guide them, because kids are not fully formed adults. High school kids, and of course I'm generalizing here, are hormonal crazy people who couldn't make a good decision if their lives depended on it. It looks like the school is doing their very best to guide the kids, which is refreshing for once to see, but it also looks like the young lady's mother is flaking out a little bit on her responsibilities to raise a fully functioning, appropriate adult. The mom of this young lady, whom I won't name because I think this isn't a story and she's also a minor, says that she's planning to file a complaint with the school board. The mom says she will stand by her daughter 100% and that her daughter is doing the right thing and that her daughter is not just doing it for herself, she's doing it for every girl at Essex High School. I'm not sure what they're fighting for though. The right to show your underwear at school seems like a bizarre hill to die on when the same rules apply to male students and actually even go one step further, because boys can't even wear muscle shirts or tank tops at school at all. I'm not being critical of the young girl here. She's a minor in high school, And almost never do these kids think clearly. Kids have a real inability to see the long game or the life lesson the adults around them are trying to instill in them. It's why they can't vote. And as long as there have been dress codes, there have been kids who are following the dress code while still finding a way to express themselves. It's called creative problem solving, and we want kids to do that. Or better yet, they can express themselves on their own time, because a big chunk of high school is about real world preparation. Part of high school is also about learning the rules and unwritten and unspoken codes of conduct and behavior that will make a person an attractive employee. You know, prepping kids for the real world and all that stuff. And dressing appropriately in the appropriate circumstances is one of those codified behaviors that has to be learned. It's one of those incredibly valuable life lessons that I talked about a little earlier. Kids need to realize that not everybody will work somewhere where you can wear your favorite conservative sloganeering t-shirt to work like I do. Whether or not we like it, it doesn't really matter, because first impressions really are everything. That's the reality of the human species. We are visual creatures. It's how we judge people when we first meet them, when we know nothing else about them, and that's okay. It's one of the reasons we have eyeballs. I mean, even laundry commercials point out the fact that if your clothes look like you, I don't know, slept in the trunk of your car when you're on a date, it leaves a bad impression. Learning rules of appropriateness and presentation is about respect for your workplace, respect for the work that you do, and respect for those people around you. And I think it is a great shame that this young lady's mom is helping her to avoid ever learning that lesson. And is it really any wonder that, according to Princeton, millennials are the least prepared generation for the workforce ever? For the Rebel.media, I'm Sheila Gunn-Reid. What you just saw there was my daily video that I do here at the Rebel, but did you know that I have my own full-length show? It's aptly called The Gun Show. We talk about issues like this, issues facing Canadian families. But to get access to my show and the rest of our incredible premium content, treat yourself to a Rebel subscription today.